Do you live in a world where you have to make sacrifices to succeed? Of course you do. There is nothing in our world that just comes with no cost. Everything that we do has a trade-off. You're giving something up to give something back. Whether it be good or it be bad, you're getting something back at all times. For whatever effort that you put out is exactly what you deserve to get back. Now, if you want something different in your life, then you have to do different things. You have to take different actions to accomplish different rewards, or in some cases, different failures, different things that hurt you. When we have opportunities of improvement is when we are able to assess back about what it is that we did and what we got out of it. And if we don't want to continue to make those same silly mistakes, we must take accountability for those things. And when we take accountability, our mind matures. Our mind starts to grow at a higher rate, and you're able to make more effective decisions. Now look at your life. What is it that you're doing right now that's getting you what you don't want? Can you write those things down? Can you make the assessment to understand exactly what it is that's stopping you from getting you what you want? Perhaps there's things that you're doing that's getting you a reward that you're happy with. Strive for that. Build on that. Find the things that you're doing that are either positive for you or negative for you, and start either getting rid of those things or taking more of it. I want to welcome my great friend Denzel Smalls with Word of Mouth Productions onto the podcast today. How you doing, Denzel?
Doing great, sir. How about yourself?
I'm great. We're looking great. I love the outfit you got going on.
Try to keep it, a little festive, a little holiday spirit. The penguins. Everybody loves penguins. They have bow ties, but I've never been good at tying those. So
yeah, me neither. An interesting thing about penguins is penguins have mates. And they're very similar to us about the way they take care of their mate and protect their mate and make sure that everything for their family is actually striving for success.
They mate for life, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yes, they do.
In some situations they don't, but those are outliers, just like everything else.
Well, I think there's always an exception for everything. Hey, so tell us a little bit about yourself and your company.
So, I'm an Air Force veteran as of be 13 years, March something. I'm not going to give the exact date. That's kind of where I started my journey as far as like how I even got onto this path or whatnot. So as a younging, or high school, middle school, even as young as 3, I was the art guy. Like, I obviously could play sports, basketball being the sport, but I loved BMX. I grew up with Tony Hawk, Pro Skater 1 and 2, Rocket Power. Like, I loved sports. I loved being outside, but I also had a fondness for drawing and sketching and whatnot. Still, one of my fondest memories is seeing my uncle Cedric. Shout out to him. We were in Manhattan. We were sitting in my uncle's living room, or like a studio or something like that. And I had this X-Men book, and he just drew the X-Men book. He drew it for me. And I think that's where the fondness really came in. I was drawing before then, but it was like, I didn't know this could be a whole kind of like, how you say, a career field where he was doing that. He was a computer programmer. I still remember, this is like the old computers, like the big box ones where
with the green screen?
Yes. And he designed a video game, and it was the most fascinating thing. And it kind of streamlined where that's what I wanted to do. That's the point I wanted to make.
Interesting.
So, fast forward to, 18, 19, I'm in college. I'm to South Carolina State University. Was pretty decent in art, photography, won a couple awards, did that. Most of the paintings I've ever done, I've given away to some girl at some point in time, because it was like, here, I got this for you. I drew this for you. It's like, oh my gosh,
Look at that romantic side of Denzel coming out.
Yeah, that's like, I don't have any old paintings, like not a one. So they all have them. Like, I probably need to get the pictures from them. And then, during that time period where I was an undergrad, that's when I'll say the internet, like, you had the internet before that, but it kind of like revved up and sped up more into more like the business thing. Because you remember a time you didn't really need the internet. Like
No.
it was more of an entertainment type of thing, like
Right.
TV, but it wasn't what it is now.
And no one really knew kind of how to utilize it.
Yeah, like you just kind of played around with it. Like I remember a couple of our friends, like before you had YouTube, like well, in the beginning stages of YouTube, I used to just record everything we did in college.
Oh, wow.
Everything. I got the photos, used to record all that. And we were 17, 18, young college dumb kids, but I was just recording everything and I wasn't recording it for a purpose. I decided that this is how I'm going to get better as a photographer, as a videographer. This is what I wanted to do. Or at least that's what I thought I wanted to do. And in that process, that's when it started evolving because everybody blames everything on social media. Social media did this, social media did that. But social media was around when I was 18, 19 years old. But it was only accessible on the computer.
So how do you think social media has changed your view of art?
It hasn't really changed my view of art. Like even AI hasn't changed my view of art because, like if you really want to be technical about it, the pencil is technology.
Absolutely.
The
Right?
ability to do that. And there were probably people who fought against that. And to me, anybody can draw if you practice hard enough.
Mm-hmm.
The real art is in the creativity behind what you draw.
Yeah.
That's like even in this studio, the creativity is doing this. This is unconventional.
It's almost like how do you take an idea, a vision that you have in your head and be able to manifest it into reality, right?
Yes. To me, that's where the art comes from. And
Absolutely.
it doesn't have to be structured into just, drawing and painting. There's art in engineering, there's art in dress, there's art in building, there's art in math, there's art in all these different things. It's just whatever that person has a passion in, and that's where their art lies.
It's almost like art's means of communication.
Definitely. Like when you look back in the old cave paintings or hieroglyphics before you can read it, like they look like symbols. Yeah. They were, language is a symbol, and that's essentially at the basic form of an art form.
It's interesting. It goes into the whole idea that a picture says 1,000 words.
Definitely. Like I'm a firm believer in don't dress just for whatever, dress how you want to feel. Like, even if you're having the worst, shittiest day possible.
And I would go as far as to the way we dress sends a specific message to people.
Definitely. Like,
And how do you want to correlate something about yourself to somebody else? Like the way that I see you always dressed up in the suit with the tie, looking very professional, means like to me that you're here for business. You're here like, this is serious. Like I still have a little bit of fun. I got a cool red tie on, but like you're professional. You care about the things that you have going on.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think it's a partisan to wearing a uniform all the time in the Air Force. Like, yeah, we had our what we call the blues, our formal uniforms. But what I did, you might have worn that once a year, maybe twice. So it was like nothing wrong with wearing a uniform. I loved wearing my uniform. I would wear it to this day. But it's just the change up of being from that to suit and tie, from, being on the ground or rolling around or whatever it is that we were doing that day, to be suit and tie, trimmed, no dirt, oil or whatever can be under the nails. Like it's a nice, change of scenery. But I guess backtrack a little bit. So like I said, art was my first what I wanted to do. So I was doing that. I was working my way up, and then the year of 2018 came up. Like I went to SCAD. Yeah, 2018. It was a great year. It was 2017, 2018. I just started my master's program, my first master's in entertainment business. That's what I wanted to do. I'm from New York. I was moving back to New York for it. And I was definitely going to try to, get my way into the gig. I still had connections there, still do. Great friends. Shout out to Herbie and some other people that I know up there that are like DJs or whatnot. And it was a great place to be in what I like to do. At the same token, I was still in the military, so I was what we call PCSing, a civilian term would be transferring to another base. I think maybe like 2 or 3 weeks before I was like done with all the paperwork, I didn't injure my back.
Wah, wah.
Yes. Injured my back. And I'm thinking, I just pulled something. I probably went too hard in the gym, guy stuff. And then, while you're injured, you can't move around from base to base. You got to figure out what's going on with you. So that stalled that. So I wound up losing my position there because of my injuries.
Keep talking.
So while that happened, I've come to find out I had worse injuries that are going on or taking place. I had found out that I had scoliosis, bulging discs, torn ligaments, the whole nine, and I think a lot of that is what I got from being deployed the first time I was deployed. So I think a lot of it came from that. But in the career field I'm in, there's never really, there can be, it's a possibility that there's direct contact combat, but that wasn't like my position. That wasn't
Right. You didn't sign up for hand to hand.
Yeah, like there was a time period where I wanted to do that. Like I still remember basic training. They asked us like, "Hey, who wants to, jump out of planes?" But I was like, "Nah."
Like pass.
It wasn't. It just my reason for passing was like, it wasn't what I wanted to do. I wanted there's nothing wrong with that. But to me, I wanted the more technical skills of what I learned to do because it would. To be honest, in a way, it's a safety net. Like I can do that for the rest of my life if I wanted to.
All right.
So I went with the safety net more route because it was more technical, more strategic and whatnot. Granted, there are positions within what I did that could go into those, and I might have done that later on in my career. But a lot of that stuff was, to me, it's like a young man's sport.
How do you feel about going the safe route?
I think it was the smartest thing I could have done.
Yeah.
Because considering my injuries, I worked, I lift heavy stuff, I did whatnot, but that might have shortened my career even more jumping out.
Absolutely.
That's a very strenuous job.
If you could even walk today.
Exactly. So that's a big thing too. So,
we opened the podcast with talking about trade-offs.
Yeah.
And, you probably could have had a very successful career in jumping out of planes and doing some of that stuff, but what's the trade-off in it in the long run?
Yeah. I don't think, I think a lot of that is it's a great experience, but when you look at it long term, the PTSD that may come with it, the trauma that may come to it, the family, there are certain things that you can only talk with or converse with your comrades, your group mates, that they'll only understand versus, your regular person. There are certain things where you've done bodybuilding. I know about it. I've seen it, but the lived experience is way different than just talking about it with somebody.
Absolutely.
So how much can you really relate? So
I think that's a really good concept of how much can you really relate. I find that when I have clients, finding ways to relate, compare and contrast things, is a pretty cool way to achieve that. I'm sure you've done some crazy things that took extreme amounts of dedication, right?
Definitely.
I think that's our opportunity. Maybe we can't necessarily say, well, I 100% know what it's like to be a bodybuilder, but I can pretty much guess.
Empathize.
Absolutely. That empathy is huge when it comes to our ability to relate to somebody.
Definitely, because the fundamental of bodybuilding and being in the military is discipline.
Absolutely. Can you make the decision to get you what you want versus making these other decisions that might satisfy you in the moment?
Exactly. Let's say I was a bodybuilder. Oreos is my weakness.
Double stuff?
Exactly. Yeah, definitely.
Mega
I love
stuff.
all the Oreos except for mint. Mint's not my thing, but I like Oreos. But I know during season, Oreos would not be my weakness. I would have to be able to restrain from that, because if I didn't, the long-term effects I would have,
Absolutely.
in competitions.
I love that about fitness and being able to teach that to men, that sense of delayed gratification.
Yeah.
The first time you go to the gym, you're not going to see a change.
Not at all.
Even the second or third, maybe a couple of weeks in, you're still probably not seeing these huge changes. But after 4 months, I had at men's group this morning, guy that started with me 4 months ago. Today he did 50-pound incline flies. He started with 15s. And just out of nowhere, boom, 50s. We're everybody's staring at him, looking at him what the fuck is Tanner doing?
Does he realize what he's doing?
And he was so excited about it, but he understood the means of the delayed gratification. It's going to take me a while to build up to this.
Definitely. Right now, I'm attempting to learn Spanish during Duolingo.
All right.
I'm at 211 days.
All right.
Around the 180 mark, I was tired of it. I'm like, bro, we just learning words like casa and hotel and restaurant and jefe. And I'm like, when are we going to learn some sentences and phrases? And just when I was over it, now I'm learning sentences and phrases.
Boom.
Like they're simple, like tu hablas español, like stuff like that. But it's like it'll build upon it, and it took that discipline that 211 days that did it. Um, COVID kind of got most people out of shape,
Yep.
definitely. So it took that discipline to get back into the shape I was prior to COVID, like prior to my injuries. Like I still have them; they're always be there, but
Right.
learning the workaround to be able to do, so I'm not looking like a slob. I just
Yeah, or and shortening your lifespan.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
you go back to that very similar aspect of like, do I jump out of planes because it's fun and exciting, or do I do something that's more long lasting for me?
Yeah, definitely. Like, and that's just how I look at life. It's like, to me, I hate the gym. I can't stand the gym. It's just so boring to me. Like, I like exercising. I like martial arts. I like sports. Like, if that was something I could do every day, but the pushing and pulling, like, even if it was like I had to go fight in the UFC every day, like just to train that way, I love that. But you were talking about pushing and pulling things. Like, me and my friends used to get into this argument all the time. They'd be like, "Oh, you so skinny." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm not looking to lift trucks. Like I just don't, like I
I
don't."
don't want to lift a truck,
Yeah, like
guys.
I'm like, what am I doing? What skill set does that have for me lifting a truck?
Yeah.
No, but I love swimming. I love exercising.
You may have to lift a truck off of a loved one.
If you got yourself under that truck, that's one of those situations. It's like, how did you get there? That's how did you get there? Why are you under the truck? What did you do?
Absolutely.
What did you not do? So
Absolutely.
if hopefully I have that like that tap in. I remember a lady, she lifted a car off of her children that time, but it like
The adrenaline.
yeah, like
Yeah.
hopefully I have it for that moment. But if we were talking about just regularly being able to lift the truck, like I work out, like I'm not no slouch, but the gym is just so boring to me. And it might be the fact that I grew up in the gym.
Yeah.
My dad was in the Army 30 years, so
Okay.
like that's workout from that age all the way up until now I'm 32.
It's definitely a very interesting perceived value of it.
Yeah, like
And like, what is your goal going into it? So if your goal going into it is to just be healthy, yeah, absolutely.
I like the results.
Absolutely.
That's my honest opinion. I like when to be able to pick a suit off a mannequin and not like this suit is not. I didn't get it tailored at all.
Ooh, nice. Lucky you.
You know what I'm saying? Like none of my suits I have to go get tailored. Like I pick them right off the mannequin.
Right.
I like seeing the woman with the quick glance in the store when they see in the suit.
Hey.
Or like my partner should be like, "Oh, you got a cute butt." Like always, like I don't talk about my butt, bro. But it's like just the compliments,
the acknowledgement of what you're accomplishing from the actions that you're taking.
Yeah, the hard work and the discipline. I'm a firm believer, and you got to pay the cost to be the boss.
Absolutely.
Like, and that's what the cost. That's what the cost you have to pay for to look the way I do or have the physique that I do. I should say, like that's what happens.
In today's time, with how everything is so instant and the gratification levels are so like short-lived, it's very interesting that you say that, like people coming in and being in love with the results, not being worried about the work. Well, I don't find that very often anymore. It's like, I would rather hate the work and then never get results. That's what I see from people.
I don't understand the concept. To me, it's even like so. I guess the fast track. I got injured. Yada yada yada. COVID happened, so the entertainment industry was kind of like it's still kind of now, and that's when I decided to go back to school and do psychology. That's to fast forward super quick. We might be able to do another episode and really discuss.
You're good. We can always come and talk.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Yes. So that's how I fast forward into psychology, because I realized doing entertainment and psychology is not the two separate worlds.
It's pretty much the same, isn't it?
Very much so. Like, colors you pick. Like one of my favorite movies is The Devil's Wear Prada with Anne Hathaway, Meryl Streep. One of my favorite movies. And one of my favorite parts in the movie is Meryl Streep's talking to Anne Hathaway about, she felt like this sweater was just this great idea. She was being innovative and she was going against the capitalism and et cetera, so forth. And in that time and in that essence, Meryl Streep broke down the fact that this sweater that you're wearing was in a show 5 years ago, and you think you picked something totally different, but the people in this room probably picked it for you.
Yep.
And then while I started in clinical psychology, I realized I like more of the analytics, the data, and all that other stuff. I still deal with people. Like, if we go in, for example, let's Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is one of the most popular restaurants. Why is that?
I don't know. I don't like it.
All right, you're one of like psychopaths of like 10 trillion people, but it's
Hi.
okay. Like most people like it, but most people like it because of the customer service. It's chicken.
Interesting.
It's
Okay.
chicken. Like it's no different than you don't really have it on this side of the world, but Zaxby's or Dave's Hot Chicken or and Popeyes is really no different than that.
That's an interesting concept because Walmart used to be known for their customer service.
Yes.
Back when Walmart first started, what made Sam Walton's Walmart so special was the associates were actually like the bosses there. And they felt like they were the face of the company, and they were encouraged to be outgoing and super friendly and like that. And granted, after Sam died, things changed.
Typically, when the owner, passes away,
But that was the culture. The culture was like, we are the owners, we're the authority, we get to make this interaction with the customer.
definitely, and that's the problem now. Like, but that's why Chick-fil-A does so well.
Mhm.
It's just chicken. It's not really anything spectacular. You can make it at home,
Yep.
but the customer service is so great. Like you can't beat that customer service. I remember going into one store, having to wait in the store. It was just something. It was busy. I don't know. Maybe at the time it was busy, but it was something. Verizon. I was getting internet,
Mm.
and I ordered my Chick-fil-A in Verizon. I walked over to it. That walk was maybe 5 minutes. I waited there for maybe 2 minutes, and it was in my hand.
Mm.
And I was literally telling these people like, "Hey, I don't see my order on my thing, and I know it just ordered. I just order it, so I'm not expecting it out. I don't want to seem like I'm just trying to be this jerk. I just ordered. It's like, oh, this is why, because we were already done.
You're like, wait a minute.
I was like, I said it loud. I was like, the fuck? Like, what do you mean? I said it loud. Like, I was like, the fuck? Like, how do y'all do this? And it was like just that level of customer service.
Mhm.
Everything was right. Everything was in there.
Mm-hmm. Well, it fits your needs, right?
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for what I like,
Yeah.
because you can't beat customer service. Like,
That's another interesting a book is the one that they wrote about Disney and Disney's customer service. I forgot what the actual title is, but that was a very interesting concept of how they took care of their people. The
Yeah.
amount of effort and the level that they went to make sure that their customers had the best experience.
definitely. But you can't just worry about, the customer. You also have to worry about the people who you work with
Mm-hmm.
or
Well, I
for.
think that's a very lost concept of today's day and age, especially with like corporate America, where the associate, especially the person at the bottom of the pyramid, is just viewed as a replaceable number.
Yeah, like everything. That's one thing the military taught me as well. Like, it's just business. Like it's that like having your my first master's in entertainment business. A lot of things it's just broken down to numbers. But when you have somewhere like, let's go with what's a company everybody loves to work for that I could think of. I think Google is a company I think everybody loves to work for as far as like and all the different amenities and things that they have.
Right.
Like, yeah, you might have that premier name company, but who wants to work for you?
Right.
Like, if you have your turnover rate that you're getting people in and out of it so many times that nobody wants to work.
I think that's why you see the demise of Walmart. Like that's why it's a high cost for everyday low prices. You're sacrificing the people. Like if you walk in and try to get help from a Walmart associate,
Oh yeah, you got to find them.
they're all right. All right. Let's say in a perfect world, you found a Walmart associate. You ask him to help you. That's exactly what you're going to get. Is that right there? I got to help. Why do I got to do something? And that's the culture that the corporations that have created because of the way that the people feel about who they are as an individual inside of the.
Definitely. And then when you look at pay,
Mm-hmm.
most people aren't asking to make six figures. Like I know social media and all that other stuff say women need this and need that, but no, that's not even practical. Like I think like maybe now 15% of the population makes over six figures.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think it was like 200. It was like 10% makes like 200,000.
Exactly. So like those aren't practical numbers.
Yeah.
But I remember a time with even like the poorest of families, and I wish I could have thought of most impoverished of families could take a vacation at least once a year, and the mom and dad didn't really have to worry
Mm-hmm.
at least once a year.
And it was based on a one person income too.
Yeah, like, and it might have been a couple days, but they could at least enjoy that time. Now,
Absolutely.
people can't afford anything. Like I was just talking with the producer here. I just now, after like 2 years, I could pay for gas in my car, and it's not over $80
Wow.
in a car. A
Wow.
car that's good on gas.
Yeah.
That's known to be good on gas. I'm now just paying under $80.
It's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then I think what really helped was the fact that I got this entertainment business thing first, because then you understand like the cost of what things really cost to make versus how much you pay for it. Like a tire costs 20 cents to make.
Mm-hmm.
But if you got like a F4 150, what are those type tires? $400, $500, $600 a tire, something crazy like that.
Designer brands. Really, it's a really good point you bring up right now. Designer brands. I recently found out from someone that used to work at Louis Vuitton and went to the facilities where they actually make the stuff. A speed bag to their average bag. It's like a $3,000 bag. Can you guess how much it costs to make that?
Maybe 30 cents.
It was $13. $13 turns into $3,000.
Capitalism has its finest. Like, I do believe there are some things Louis Vuitton still makes by hand.
Most of it is all made by hand, but
Like,
they have specialized machines that they have created themselves to make processes easier. But there's an individual that runs the machine, and that's all they do. They run that one machine and they take care of it. So they're like an expert at this one little part.
I mean, I can't knock that. Like, do I think, is it worth $3,000? For the name, it is, yeah. For how long it's lasted, yeah. Like, and the customer service there, yeah. Like, when you look in tandem of, you're not just paying for the bag, you're paying for the customer service.
Absolutely.
When you do go there, you know, like, they send you text messages when they got new stuff or whatnot. Like, by name, like, you have an individual.
Have you ever seen all the stuff that comes with a purchase from them? Like, you get a box.
Oh, yeah.
Then you get another box. Then you get a bag. Then you get another bag with another stuff in it.
Yeah, and and the bag is not something you can just. It's not like, you know, your little plastic bag you throw away.
Exactly.
Like, it's like a little cloth bag that you could actually gift or put another gift in that lasts a while. Like, even the lotion I use is J Malone. I still got the box. I don't know why I have the box, but I have the box because the packaging was great. Like, and I know when I go back and get another one, I'm going to get another box. But I'm going to be like, no, let's just use this box. And I'm like, no, this is not what we do here. You can do whatever you want with your little box. We're getting you another box.
Absolutely.
And it's just what you pay for. And I love it. Like, you can't beat customer service and somebody or something that puts quality into stuff. Part of like how I did this.
Let me ask you this. How can a man take that concept of customer service and then apply it to who he is as an individual?
Like I said earlier, you got to pay the cost to be the boss.
All right. Can you go a little bit deeper?
So, you want to be a millionaire.
Yeah.
You're 15. You want to be a millionaire. What are you doing now at 15 to project yourself to be a millionaire? At 15, no, you're not an adult. Well, you won't. To me, you're not an adult until you're 25. Like, when you're typically the brain fully develops at 25. That's when you're an adult to me. So what are you doing to be a millionaire then? What are you learning about? What are you reading?
What skills are you building, right?
Exactly. Like, there are so many things where you can get certifications now that are free or close to nothing. Like,
well, yeah, we talked about the internet for us was so limited. Now the internet is so open. Like, you can take MIT courses.
Definitely. Like, you know, for the price of a video game now, you can get a certification, 2 certifications cheaper in some places. Certain and like legitimate certifications. Like,
well, that
LinkedIn has them, Indeed has them, a couple places have them.
It brings an interesting point that a video game now costs the same amount as education. So now the question becomes do you want to be entertained or do you want to invest?
But that brings up the point you said earlier, delayed gratification.
Absolutely.
Because during my 20s, I was in the military. I was delivering pizzas at Papa John's. I was working at United Arab Shipping Company, and I was trying to get a job at Verizon. in my 20s, right after graduation.
You're not married, no kids, nothing, just you.
Yeah, I was like, it was just, I didn't. You don't realize what you're doing sometimes until you reflect back at it. But I mean, during that time period, that was 2014, 2015. I probably was making 60 to 80,000 a year with all those jobs I was doing. Like
Yeah.
relatively about that. Not thinking I was making that much, but I
Right.
probably was. And I realized all the effort that I put in that helped me later on.
Mhm.
It may not have been direct help where I'm not an area manager at Verizon, or I'm still at United Arab, because both of those places are in Atlanta and the traffic there is horrific. So that's not going to be a place that I would want to
Right.
live. Just like love the people, love the city, but that traffic is.
It's like, I got to get out of the chaos.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was for me. I had to get out of it, but it helps streamline so many things.
Well, but pressure builds the diamond, right? So if you're in the chaos and you learn how to succeed in the chaos, you can make decisions outside of the chaos a little bit more effectively.
Definitely. Like, the military always has stressful situations. It's not always somebody shooting at you or something like that, but there are always stressful situations that you have to be able to be calm, tranquil, and think about, and, just handle in that scenario in that regard,
So for a man, if he's in a stressful situation, what's one thing that you could tell him that he could do that might help him get out of that or accomplish the goal that he wants more successfully?
It's contingent upon what the goal is and how you got yourself there. Because I'm also a firm believer of things don't happen to you, they happen for you.
So he could assess his situation, what got him there, and what his 3 options are ahead of him.
Definitely. Because, again, things don't happen to you, they happen for you.
Right.
If you decided, hey, I'm 15 and all I'm going to do is play video games, I'm not going to work hard in school, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that. Then when you're 18 and you graduate and you have no options for college or this, that, and the third, whose fault is that?
It's always,
Partly, your parents' fault because of your age, but it's also
always our fault.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Like I said, at 25, that's when your brain is fully developed. So to me, after 25, life is 100% your fault. But at 16, you're not 7. You know what I'm saying? You know what you should be doing by that time.
You should know right and wrong and have a little bit of a direction
about where you want to go. Like I remember at 16, 17, I wanted to go to an art school, art institute. I don't think they have them around anymore, but at the time there was art institute. So I directed my career towards that. Did I go there? No, I want to go to South Carolina State. Best decision I ever made. But I still had the ability to go there because I had the grades to go there. And I wound up going to SCAD after that.
You set yourself up for success.
Exactly.
Well, for setting yourself up for success, can you tell the people out there how to get a hold of you if they want to?
Word of Mouth Productions is probably the best way to get a hold of me because it has all my LinkedIn's, social medias and whatnot. I do have a TikTok. I don't remember the name. I remember the little ad lib that I go under it. Somebody do my hair. Like
there's so many social medias now, it's hard to keep it straight.
Yeah,
so Word of Mouth Productions on Instagram.
The website is wordofmouthproductions.com.
Boom, there you go.
So you can find me there.
All right, man. It's been a pleasure having you on.
Pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
As always. You will chop it up more.
And I want to thank you for joining the Man Up and Own It podcast, where we help men get through difficult situations and understand the opportunities that they have ahead of them.